Well, hello. We're back with another unboxing video. Now, this is not the unboxing video that I said it was going to be. Not that I actually told you what it was. So the last unboxing video we did was for the AEW crate, which recording time was I only recorded like 2 or 3 days ago. The package I was expecting that I mentioned at the end of that video did come. However, uh, due to it being almost Christmas, my wife decided that I cannot open the thing that I purchased with my own money because it is now a Christmas gift for me. So that won't get unboxed until sometime after Christmas now. However, uh, I took advantage of the GameStop Canada's Sunday Funday. Now, first, what is Sunday Funday? Let's start with that. So Sunday Funday is every week, every Sunday, well, almost every Sunday, GameStop puts a few things, marked down a few bucks here and there. It's usually nothing super spectacular, to be fair. Like, it'll be some older product that isn't selling very well that they'll mark down by like 5, 10 bucks. And if it's more expensive, maybe like 20 or 30 and so forth. Just depends on what it is. So that's the sale I took advantage of. Now, why did I take advantage of it? So in some of my other videos, you've seen me playing around with a Raspberry Pi 5. Excuse me. And the reason why I kind of got back into that was because I had discovered Beta Sarah. Now, I know some people don't like Beta Sarah. Some people prefer the other operating systems for retro gaming and stuff like that. And that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But what I liked about Beta Sarah was it seemed so simple to use for somebody who didn't really understand everything. And through it, I've actually started to understand more of it. And the reason why I discovered Beta Sarah was because GameStop Canada started selling something called the Iconic Arcade. The Iconic Arcade, there's two versions of it. There's like a full arcade model version of it, and it just runs off of a Raspberry Pi, and you can get other systems for it, but the default setup one is the Beta Sarah. And they have these demo units in their store, and you can try them and so forth, and that's kind of how I started to learn about it, and then I started to want to play around with it at home. So of course I naturally picked up a Raspberry Pi and figured out how to do all that, and I've had that for a while now. But there's always like this little, like, oh man, it would be cool to have this in an arcade machine, even though some of the games that you can run on it obviously require uh, like a full controller, of course, with analog sticks. And obviously the Iconic Arcade is just like the traditional joystick with like the 6 buttons and so forth. So you're not going to be able to play certain games very well on it. And again, it runs off of a Raspberry Pi 4, so some of the games I can run on my Raspberry Pi 5 would not run on on a Raspberry Pi 4. There is also a what they call the console version. The console version is just the two joystick setup part, um, and you just connect it to your TV using an HDMI cable. So these things normally go for I believe it's $600 for the full arcade machine, and usually go for $300 for just the console version. Now they've both been on sale for quite a while. The full arcade I think has been on sale for around $450, $470, something like that. Keep in mind, obviously Canada, so Canadian prices. It was like 400 some odd dollars or whatever, and the console version has been on sale for $200. Great prices. Honestly, thought about pulling the trigger a few times. For whatever reason, the company put them on Sunday Funday. And you would think, oh, they're going to just knock off maybe $20 or $30 or whatever here and there more. No. The full arcade machine was only $300 and for this one day only, and the console version was only $100. And I really couldn't resist. Now I don't have room for, like, if I had more money, I probably would have grabbed the whole arcade set up one. I can't afford that, even at $300, unfortunately, nor do I really have the room for that. I have, as you may remember from a very old video, I have an arcade 1-up Ninja Turtles machine that I don't technically have the full room for either, and have a few times thought about getting rid of just because it is kind of taking up space, and I don't use it that much these days. And truth be told, I probably won't use this much either, because again, I've got the Raspberry Pi 5, but I couldn't resist, so of course I grabbed the console version, and it's in this box. Now, excuse the Lego in the way, I don't really have anywhere else to put that right now, and this is a bigger box, so the end of the other end box is like just off camera there, so I just don't have the room for this. So this is a big box. Now this is in the box that it fully ships in, because the store doesn't bother taking the units out of the big boxes that they ship in, because of the fact that it's cleaner that way, because they do have one out of the box, and the packaging is a little weird for displaying purposes, because it's not even like you'd expect it to be like a normal box, like that a product would come in, but it's still just another cardboard box with like a paper sleeve wrapped around it, which is actually even too big for the box. So I'm not sure what the thought process was there from them. You'll see that in a second, because of course once I get this open, you're going to see it. So as you can see, right, like it's just a paper sleeve around another cardboard box. And I got the little ball tops for that, as well as the little dust covers. We have our setup USB stick, as well as an SD memory card, which we will have to insert. Oh, and cool. So yeah, these are the only ports on the back. We have that's our SD card slot right there. We got our HDMI port there, an Ethernet port, and I assume that's for power. I'm not really sure what that's for. Maybe you can connect it to external speakers or something. I'm not really sure. Which would actually make sense based on the design of the full arcade machine, because that does run to external speakers above the monitor. There's nice little... What else is it? What are these small little things for? Huh. I don't know what those are for. So the instructions that come with it... Oh. Oh, okay, this is the power cord for the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, so we got the power cord there. Boom. So the instructions that come with it are the full instructions. So this would be for assembling the full cabinet, which obviously we're not doing because we don't have the full cabinet. There is a couple things I want to try though with this, but first we should just get it set up as is, and we can always experiment later. Yeah, it doesn't say what that extra port is on the back. Okay, and the little blue things here that were in this other little baggie, I guess, are for like feet for the bottom or whatever. That is not a promising sound. Nothing should be moving around inside there. And unlike the full machine, since you don't have the full arcade machine, it does not have the Allen key that's included with the full machine. Which is funny because somebody had loosened one of these, and the thing, you couldn't tighten it anymore because the things on the other side came completely off. And so I actually had to crack out the Allen key and open up the top and reattach it on the bottom, so that it could be tightened again. So it's all good now. The question is, do I have an Allen key that is compatible? Probably not. Oh, I stand corrected. I do. Excellent, and it was the first one I grabbed too. There's a loose screw in here. And the cables are not plugged in tight on the inside on the Raspberry Pi. So that's the inside here, in case you were curious. So you can see the Raspberry Pi is inside this shell here. It looks like it's an extra screw because it's one of the screws that's holding cables down and everything else, and I don't see anywhere where the screw came out of. It's either one of the screws holding cables down or it's that, and they're all fine. So I don't think that's what the problem is here. It looks like it's just an extra screw that somehow got in here. So we got our, so this is the USB ports here on the front. So we got the two USB ports running off the front here. And then we got two USB ports running off of here. So the one USB port is for this circuit board that connects this joystick and everything, and then obviously the other one is for this joystick that connects everything. Then we have, yeah, so I'm thinking this is audio. And we got the HDMI, the Ethernet, the memory card slot. I don't know if you can see it, but like this little black ribbon thing is the memory card slot. And then, oh yeah, so the other USB-C is for the power. Okay, yeah. Okay, we're good. So power, HDMI, Ethernet, and yeah, it's got to be sound. It's not connected. It's just connected to the Raspberry Pi. I don't know where specifically, but anyways, let's close this back up. Get this back together. All right. So, yeah, let's pop that guy on, and we screw this guy on. So these guys, again, in the one in this demo unit, I find that these balls on these joystick get very loose very easily. What we did is we took a pair of pliers and like gripped the stick part and then really tightened it on, and yeah, they don't budge now, which is nice. Oh, I forgot to put the dust thing on that one. Whoa, wrong way, ball. Alright, boom, boom, boom. So yeah, so we're more or less ready to start. Oh, there's like little protective plastic over all the buttons here. Very little grip edge on any of them though. There we go, got that one, that's two. Basically ready to get going. And look, now there's nothing rattling inside. So yeah, the only thing that's left to do, well, I gotta put the feet on the bottom if I'm even gonna bother, because most likely if I ever use this, it's just gonna be sitting up here on the desk and I'm just gonna be playing like this anyways. But yeah, so yeah, we just gotta plug in the power cord and then and obviously an HDMI cable. And then we just have to do our setup. It comes with, it does not say how big the SD card is. It's actually completely blank. So as you can see, there's nothing written on that side, and there's nothing written on the other side, which is hilarious. SD card is in. So yeah, I already know how to do this. There's like little rubber protector things over the USB ports to keep the dust out. Most of the stored demo units have lost those because, of course, idiots keep picking at them. And you pick them up off the floor and you put them back in, and then 2 seconds later they're on the floor again. So you're supposed to just plug in the USB stick to get set up for the first time, and you go from there. So, let me go plug this in, and we will then continue the video. Okay, so it may not seem like it, but I actually have made minor progress in the sense that before, the Raspberry Pi information, when it would boot up, I would briefly see on my TV screen, but not on here, and then everything would only be on my computer and not on the TV screen. It's coming up on both, and it is the full size. The downside, and I think that was just something I had because of where I was running this from originally. But anyways, I'm still having an issue where it's not detecting the firmware. And like, this is like a lot of times in a row. This is very frustrating because like the only help on the website basically just says, try doing this, try doing this. We know the firmware is there because we got it to come up once. We know it's there, so that's not the issue. I don't know what the actual issue is, but yeah, I'm going to keep tinkering. Okay, so I I still don't know why this didn't work. I could not get the thing to start at all. Believe me, I tried multiple times. The USB stick seems to have somehow been reformatted and deleted. I don't know how that happened, because so there's like nothing on it now, which is probably why it wouldn't start back up. I tried, and for some reason then I had some other issues completely unrelated to any of this, and I don't know what happened there. I couldn't get the Beta Sarah firmware loaded onto a new USB stick, and it's the same USB stick I used when I originally put it on my old Raspberry Pi 4 originally. So I don't know why that didn't work. But what I've now done is what I was going to do in the first place, or what I wanted to try and do in the first place. And if you recall from an earlier video, this is the shell for my Raspberry Pi 4, or 5, sorry, that I have been running all this retro stuff on. This board that I have shoved in it right now is the Raspberry Pi 4 from this iconic arcade. So I have taken that out, and I have put my Raspberry Pi 5, as you can recognize, it's all my stuff already up and running on there. And as you can see, we have it up and running, and we've put it inside the iconic arcade machine. Ooh. And we've got it up and running. And it works, and I was able to put it all basically into place. Now the catch is, on the Raspberry Pi 5, the Ethernet and the USB ports are on opposite sides, so it's Ethernet, USB, USB. And so just like if I try to put this shell on here, it doesn't quite go on because the holes are a little off. It's the same problem in there, but it's not enough that it causes a problem. I was still able to close it up and screw it all down, so it's all secured in there and so forth. Everything is attached the way it's supposed to be attached, which is what we want. It's interesting, it's moving at full speed properly on my TV screen, but for the capture it's not. And actually it is. Sometimes, not always. But as you can see, it works. Someone's on the top rope. No! I let him kick out. Oh no. And apparently I'm doing the... Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to work. Oh. There we go. Anyway. So yeah. So it works. So yeah. I'm probably going to keep my Raspberry Pi 5 in this, and this is going to be my permanent machine for that. What's great is I can use the joysticks for stuff that I'm feeling nostalgic, like the actual arcade games that I want to play like that. and my Xbox One controller that I've been using for this, that is already connected wirelessly, also still works. And so I can use that to play games if I'd like instead, which is what we want. And yeah. That's what we want to do. That's what we're gonna do. So yeah, so that's very cool. What I am gonna do in the meantime too is, so this Raspberry Pi uses the one that was included uses all the same ports that my Raspberry Pi 5 uses. So same USB-C for your power and whatnot. Yeah, the USB-C's for the power, and the HDMI, it's like the mini HDMI ports and so forth. It's the same ones, which is nice. So what we're going to do is we are going to, I'm actually going to still attempt to get this configured to work for this now. So like, yeah, like I said, there was a whole bunch of problems I had, and it's weird because I have not heard of anyone having this level of difficulty with this. Like, GameStop, every GameStop store has one of these full machines set up in their store. They were all set up. There was very few issues. Some of the issues that they had were like just people screwing up during the actual setup process. I wasn't even able to get to that. I've never heard of anyone having that much problems getting to the setup process. So that's something. But yeah, this I don't know what happened. I don't know why it was causing all those problems. But yeah, I'm gonna actually still attempt to set up the Raspberry Pi 4 with the proper Iconic Arcade. What was interesting too is I did go for more troubleshooting, and when I did realize that this USB stick somehow became blank, I tried to there's a place to, like, on their website, on Iconic Arcade's website, it's like, oh, you can reflash it back to the USB stick from here. It's like, okay, great. So I clicked the link to download it so I could put it back on the USB stick, and it comes up with an error that it's like not a supported website. So yeah, so we have, like I said, we got the Iconic Arcade running up in here. This has been a very complicated unboxing video and setup video. This is like, I'll be honest, I don't normally edit my videos very much, if at all. I usually just put them out as is. If I do any editing, it will usually just be like cutting off the opening part while I'm adjusting the camera and stuff like that, or before I start speaking, because, like, obviously I'm like not necessarily looking at the camera when I start everything up, and a little bit maybe at the tail end. Because this is multiple videos that I'm gonna have to put together, and there's a lot of useless airtime, I'm gonna have to do more editing than I normally do for my videos. And now my camera's all gone blurry. I don't know why I'm blurry. I'm blurry! But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some editing and get this all sorted out. In the meantime, yeah, the Iconic Arcade. Oh, one other thing to know real quick. So as I told you, I had taken advantage of the Sunday Funday deal because they'd marked this down to like $100 Canadian and the other one down to $300 Canadian. Turns out that's actually a permanent price drop. I guess the markup on it on Iconic Arcade's end was pretty high. I don't know. That's kind of the impression we were given. And I guess this is the price points they've now settled on. So yeah, this one that I purchased is now $100 at your local GameStop, and the full machine version is now only $300 at your local GameStop in Canada. They are exclusive in Canada to GameStop. I'm not, as far as I know, they're not even available in the United States right now. As for other parts of the world, you'd have to check Iconic Arcade's website to find out where. They are going to start being available in Canada, I think, early next year. Other places besides GameStop, I'm not 100% sure, but it is currently exclusive to GameStop Canada in Canada. So there's definitely some stuff I think that they need to work on. Now, granted, there's always going to be trial and error when it comes to emulation and stuff like that, but I feel like getting the thing at least set up shouldn't be this difficult and shouldn't have that many problems. I'm going to say that that they also maybe need to fix that problem on their website where you can't re-download the firmware for the setup USB stick, because that's definitely a problem. But otherwise, like, once you get these things up and running, they're a lot of fun, and the quality of the actual sticks and buttons is actually really good. So it's a nice shell. What's cool too is if you are more so inclined to do, you probably, when earlier in the video you saw when I opened this up, you could see like you could take all this out, which means this thing in the purple thing in here that says Iconic Arcade powered by Raspberry Pi and all that, you could theoretically, if you were so inclined to do so, make a replacement for this that like is more suited to something that you like if you want to deck it out with, like, I don't know, Ninja Turtles or Street Fighter or something like that artwork, you could theoretically do that, which is pretty cool, and you can put that underneath the plastic shell and so forth and whatnot if you were so inclined to do so. I feel like that's something that I've heard rumors that that's actually something Iconic Arcade's actually looking at for additional add-on sales, is like custom artwork for the units as well. That probably would include this and so forth, and that'd be pretty cool. If that happens, I will definitely let you know. Anyways, thanks for watching. This is my sign off on this part of the video, and God, I'm gonna have a lot of editing to do by the time I do this. Wish me luck. Alright, see you in the next video. Bye, guys.